Great putting can feel like some kind of dark art, but you know what? It's not. Today, we are going to crack the code on reading greens. We're going to give you a simple pro-level system so you can stop guessing and, yeah, start making way more putts. Let's dive right in.
So let's kick things off with something we've all felt, that moment of pure frustration on the green that makes you want to just snap your putter in half.
Oh, you know the feeling, right? You hit the ball exactly where you wanted with what feels like absolutely perfect speed, and it just trickles away from the hole at the very last second. It's maddening, and it makes you second-guess your entire putting stroke. But what if the stroke isn't the problem at all? And this, right here, gets to the absolute heart of it. We spend all this time obsessing over the perfect buttery stroke, but a perfect stroke aimed at the wrong line is, well, it's completely useless. That is the real difference between a tap-in par and another soul-crushing three-putts. So where do the pros even begin? I'll tell you what, it's not when they're standing over the ball. The single biggest mistake amateurs make is waiting until they're on the green to start reading it. The real process, the pros process, actually starts way back in the fairway. As you're walking up to the green from about 30 yards out, start looking at the big picture. Your brain is way better at judging big overall slopes from a distance. You got to think like a golf course architect. Where are the water hazards? Where's the drainage? See, greens are designed to shed water, so they pretty much always tilt towards those low points. This macro read gives you a baseline that honestly dictates how 90% of the putts on that green are going to break. So by doing this, you've already formed a hypothesis, an educated guess, before your foot even touches the putting surface. If the entire green complex slopes from back to front towards a creek, you already have a massive clue that most putts are going to have some right to left break. This context is what keeps you from getting fooled by some little tiny bump right near the hole. Okay, so we've got our big picture theory. Now it's time to zero in and get more specific. And for that, we're going to use the most underrated, high-tech green reading tool you own, your feet. Look, your eyes can be so easily fooled on a golf green. A mountain range in the background, a big body of water, these things create powerful optical illusions that can make a downhill putt look uphill. But your feet and your inner ear, they can't lie. They feel gravity, plain and simple. In fact, advanced systems like AimPoint are built entirely on this principle, learning to trust what your body is telling you over what your eyes think they're seeing. And here's exactly how you do it. Just stand about halfway between your ball and the hole and straddle the line of the putt. Now, relax your knees and just feel. Where's the pressure? If you feel more weight on your left foot, it means the ground is higher over there, and the putt is definitely going to break from left to right. It is that simple. This is how you confirm what your eyes see, and more importantly, how you discover those sneaky little breaks that your eyes miss completely. All right, so we've gathered all this data from way back in the fairway and right here with our feet. Now, how in the world do we turn all that information into one single confident aiming line? Well, you need a system. The most important concept you need to understand here is the fall line. Okay, imagine pouring a bucket of water near the hole. The path it takes as it runs straight downhill, that's the fall line. It's the zero break line. Every single putt on that green is going to get pulled towards that line by gravity. If you can find that straight downhill putt, you've found the ultimate reference point for any other putt you're going to face. So you've picked your line. Great. Now, how do you actually trust it and hit it there? Well, here's a little secret from elite players like Rory McIlroy. They use a technique called spot putting to make the target ridiculously simple. Now, here's why this works so incredibly well. It is so much easier, psychologically, to aim at a target that's only 6 inches away than one that's 15 feet away. It just takes the hole and all the anxiety that comes with it completely out of the equation. You do all the hard work reading the putt, but when you're over the ball, your only job, your only focus is to roll the ball over that tiny spot. Now, we've been focusing on spot putting, but it's worth noting there are several really great systems out there. Artistic, feel-based players might just want to visualize the entire path of the ball. More analytical types might focus on the apex, which is the highest point of the putt's curve. The key isn't which system is technically the best. It's about finding one that you believe in and that gives you confidence when you're standing over the ball. So how do we stitch all these different concepts together into a simple, repeatable action plan? Let's build a pro-level routine that's going to turn all this theory into actual results on the course. But hold on, before we can build the routine, we have to talk about the one variable that changes everything: speed. You got to understand, speed and break are inseparable. They are two sides of the same coin. A firm putt takes less break. A putt that's dying at the hole takes way more break.
So the very first step of any routine happens before you even tee off. Get a feel for the stimp or the speed on the practice green. It dictates everything about how much break you're going to play all day long.
Okay, let's put it all together. Here it is, your new 5-step routine. Number 1, assess from afar as you're walking up. 2, walk the line and feel the slope with your feet. 3, and this is the big one, view the putt from the low side. This gives you the best view of the break, and it's the one perspective amateurs almost always skip. 4, finalize your line and pick your spot. And finally, number 5, make a couple practice strokes looking only at the hole to dial in your speed, then step up and go. I promise, with a little practice, this whole thing becomes a quick, confident 30-second process.
So what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? Really, it's about a fundamental shift in how you think and feel about putting.
It's all about moving from hoping to knowing. You start with the big picture and then zoom in. You learn to trust your body's built-in level. You commit to a single process that eliminates all the doubt. And you finally understand that your read is not a wild guess. It's the result of processing clear information that the green is literally giving to you.
And that brings us to the end. The knowledge is all here, but the real improvement, that comes from actually doing it. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What is the one step from this routine that you are going to consciously add to your very next round of golf? Maybe it's the macro read from the fairway, or maybe it's just crouching down on the low side of the hole. Whatever it is, picking that one thing to focus on, that's the first step to transforming your putting forever.